This is ChartChase. It's been a long while since I made an episode of this, and we're going to get right into it. Take a look real quick at this YouTube generator. I'm going to go ahead and put this in my library of things. Really kind of like vibe-coded things, little applications and stuff, because this is meant to help Ball End World, the game ATH Connect's latest game. As you know, I'm the lead developer of ATH Connect, so this should help having more consistent thumbnails. That's just not game footage, you know, because game footage is one thing, but I don't think the game footage of B-World is very photogenic for easy sharing and all that. It's in the middle of action. The algorithm doesn't like it that well, so what we're going to do is we're going to kind of add in our own mix to this thing. So this right here is going to go into my portfolio. So let's go ahead and take a look very basically. Also, of note, it's one thing to do stock trading. There's another thing to do prediction markets. So prediction markets is definitely kind of the move that's been happening over the last few months to year or so. I see it all the time. People are making millions, thousands on what we call poly market. But poly market is not available in America. But what is available in America is Kalshi. So this application right here does most of the same things. It's a little bit different in the architecture, but they still do have an API, and you can go ahead and get voting really right now with prediction markets. So they talk about sports, economy, politics. If you know what's going to happen, make a bet and then see what happens from there. Another thing to plug while we're still here, IC Forums is another one of my projects here. IC Forums is the Internet Computer Forum, basically a fully on-chain website building forum. So you can build your own forum, host your own community, do all sorts of really cool stuff fully on the Internet Computer Protocol. And for those people that are not familiar with ICP, really just kind of follow me, honestly, and you'll get more and more information out of it. But this is basically a website hosted fully on-chain, meaning that the blockchain stores the data, computes the data, and delivers the front end all within a package. It's extremely easy to manage this website and very, very cheap. Actually, it's super cheap. Like, it's way cheaper, honestly, than most of the things out there that I've used. Because I used to use website builders back in the past where I have to pay like $5 a month, and I have to pay for the year, and then there's storage, or you can get like a virtual instance and end up paying like 10 or 20 a month using Amazon Web Services or Microsoft. Well, this is honestly so cheap. I actually haven't paid $1 in well over a couple of months now, and the site's just been up. I have a domain here. This is the most expensive thing on the website, just getting the domain name, because this is what, like 20 bucks a year for a domain. So check this out. Honestly, this right here, we've been adding a lot of really cool features as of late, and the resiliency of the blockchain really shows when like AWS goes out and then this website goes down, that website goes down, but this website here stays up because it's not on that, it's its own cloud. All right, let's take a look at the markets. So right away, let's get with the big indices here. We have stocks that have continuously ripped higher. Pretty much everything, honestly, is ripped higher except for cryptocurrency, and that is kind of where my niche is when it comes to the markets, is cryptocurrency. Believe it or not, I really like technology, and I like to see the innovation that is cryptocurrency. However, the price is garbage. The price is actually pretty bad. Give me 1 second. So last night was another one of these crypto crashes that happened literally out of nowhere. You cannot trade this market. It is incredibly difficult, because what happens is you see price action like this and you're like, wow, I've seen this before. This reminds me of 2017, you know, 2017, where you have this kind of price action and then it's just, there's not that much resistance, there's not much selling, you just kind of put your money in and you make money. I made a lot of money back then just trading. And it was really a different time. And then you have what happens here. So this right here, we have a nice base of support, and literally just as it starts to take off, boom, an immediate sudden sell-off out of nowhere, literally out of nowhere. By the way, ICP, Internet Computer Protocol. This is what happened when it began to sell off. This right here is a massive move to the upside. Mind you, we're still near the bottom, right? After you had the October 10th crash, which was highly similar, we had a massive spike up to $10, came back down, and spent a long time selling off, way longer than I thought was going to happen. I expected us to at least come back down to this support here at around the 430 mark, because we skipped a resistance, we skipped the retest, and we hit that mark and then went continuously down and lower, and then you had this right here, the spike up, because we finally hit what seemed to be a bottom, and everything looks green, because with this kind of rejection from the support level of 310 and immediately spiking up to the 200-day, past the 200-day moving average, we are very excited to see this thing actually perform for once, because every time it's gone up, it's gone down, you know, and that's incredibly infuriating, and a lot of people are very impatient. So you see this move here, we finally come back down to a proper 50% retracement. Oh wait, actually no, we did not get a proper 50% retracement. In fact, before this sell-off, we were rejecting off of the 200-day, the 200-hourly moving average. Okay, these are one of those also bullish formations where if it wasn't for all of this resistance going on in the macro markets, you would see this thing catapult not only to 4.8, but also way back up to 10 in short order, in a couple of days. And it was literally just about to make that move. This is how close we were. This spike up, proper 100% retracement, finally about to spike up some money, and then boom, this happened, and you see it went all the way down to 344. This is on the 5-minute. It actually did go down there last night. This right here is what makes people not want to do cryptocurrency. Look at this chart. Out of nowhere, a flash crash. This is kind of what happened like 1010, but 1010 was way more devastating. So now we are here, and there's some positive price action. In fact, we went higher than last night, which is one of the most bullish things that this chart can do. And yet, for some reason, it continues to get smacked down continually. This coin cannot hold a price. It just can't. For some reason, this coin right here cannot hold a price to save its life. So here we are, right? We have these long sell-offs, extremely long, very brutal sell-offs, only for very short spikes. That's how you know this is a market that just isn't the same as it was before. Anyways, let's go ahead and talk about silver, because since we last talked about silver, at least audio-wise, this thing's gone up from the $20, $30 range all the way up to dang near $100, and I think it's very likely for us to hit $100. Very likely. This price action right here has been legendary, and it's in progress. You can see our beautiful cup and handle formation from way back in the 1970s. This thing was $1, now it's 94 bucks. In the middle of 1980, here we are at $48. We hit $48 again in 2011. Here it is, 2025. Beautiful cup and handle formation, going straight up. Resistance, $400 maybe, because normally you'll go up twice the level of the, twice the distance of the cup. $400 maybe. You have to also understand that we are in a very hyperinflationary environment. Gold, take a look at gold. The gold XAU gold is still hitting all-time highs. Gold is also following its cup and handle formation very well. This is just where it's at, you know. Gold, beautiful metal. Everyone knows gold. It's even in the Bible. It's very safe. You know, it doesn't really do anything, but you can use it for all sorts of stuff, just like silver. And gold is money. It is money. It is the unit of currency, unit of store of value, and it means a lot. Use it as jewelry and all that too, and look good. Silver, same idea. It's the poor man's gold, and it's really catching up in price. So if you're holding this and a sizable amount, you won't be poor for long. At least you'll be catching up to where we used to be. I actually saw an article recently talking about how housing prices have actually gone down in terms of gold over the past 40 or 50 years. And that's just because even though the housing prices continue to rise now and they're harder and harder to afford, if you just held gold and saved in gold, you would understand that overall you're just getting paid less. You're getting paid less in a system that just refuses to rise its minimum wage because businesses can't handle that. We need more debt because we're getting more and more poor. This thing's driving us into the ground, and it's just happening faster and faster for you to see. So that's why I titled this episode, episode 6, the search for hold. Kind of like the search for gold, except really the goal is to like hold something that just appreciates in value. Now, you can't go wrong with gold and silver, especially now. Here we are with silver stocks too. Now this is another one of these things I actually really like, EXK. But you can also see, let's take a look at the silver miner ETF. You know, silver mining companies are starting to do well. So 2025 they're at $38, and now they're at 95. So they're very similar to silver. You know, EXK though, this specific one hasn't really performed as well. It looks like it's very undervalued. Very undervalued. It has a lot to rise to go because this thing hasn't even hit its local all-time high. Its normal all-time high, while silver has been hitting all-time highs. So that's why this is particularly something to look at. So silver mining, you know, great move there. But let's take a look at the big SP 500. Let's take a look at this big one. It just continues to go up. You know, there's nothing wrong with holding stocks too if you want to make money. You know, because stocks, as much as I don't like stocks, they do continue to just go up over time. In fact, I got burned trying to, trying to trade Trump tariffs. No, I think it was like right here when I bought puts on the market. This was also the day that Trump reversed the tariffs with China. Reversed it. This is when they were doing 100%, 200% tariffs. And we were just like, what is happening to this global economy? This looks highly similar to the Great Depression when they were doing, tariffs. And people were really thinking, oh my God, this might be the end. You know, it's about time. You know, something like this hasn't happened ever. You know, this was 2008. This was 2008. Look at how tiny it is. Actually, no, that's COVID. Let's take a look. COVID was pretty big too, but let's take a look at is this even a good chart? I don't think this is a good chart. Look at this one. Oh my God. Where are the S&P 500 charts? Maybe we just do SPY? Alright. Alright, so here you have it. You know, this is the stock market, right? It just goes up. It goes up. It doesn't look like it's slowing down. Why would it? If you bet against it, you know, the little Trump tariffs right here. So here I am thinking, oh my God, it could go like that, right? COVID, 2008, .com bubble. Whatever this was, I don't really remember this. And then you had this drawdown here, which kind of just had more to do with, well, this was the time of Biden. So honestly, Biden was doing some really messed up stuff. Anyways, not to get too political here, but you know, Trump tariffs would have been a really big deal had they kept going, but this man continues to really just mess with my account. I don't want to go and mess with him, you know, because here he says XYZ and then turns it around to ABC out of nowhere And then he does this thing over the weekend where he announces very, very bad news. Oh, credit card companies are going to have a maximum of 10% interest. Well, if he enacts this, credit card companies are going to go bankrupt. They're going to go down. How are they going to make money? You know, this is very integral to the banking system. You know, this kind of stuff happens, you know. Or over the weekend, he freaking captures President Maduro, and then a couple of breaths later says he's going to take over Greenland. I can't trade with this guy, you know. This is why I think I'm looking more towards the prediction markets, and really not just staying, not with the big things, because I think they're also aware that there are prediction markets now, and they try to juke you, you know. But easy things like, will silver hit $100 in January? Now, granted, this is very, very similar to options trading, and in a lot of the ways, options trading factors in really the market. You know, there's a lot of option traders out there. Prediction markets are way smaller than options. Options are much smarter, you know, and more fast. But people are making high frequency trades as well with prediction markets. You know, a lot of the arbitrage opportunities are in poly market, which is still not available in America. You know, so be it, right? But yeah. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the watch list, and then we will cut it off for this video. All right, here we have my Webull terminal. I love Webull. It's the greatest platform for me personally. If you want Webull, also they actually have prediction markets too now. That is something interesting. I think their prediction markets are on the app, but they definitely have that. I saw. Anyways, but like I said, they also have options. Options is really kind of where it's at when it comes to predicting the price of things, specifically stocks. But here you go. So what we have here is hyperfine. The price action has been kind of like meh. You know, this is actually one of those really small stocks that you kind of just see an opportunity in and get your trade in. A lot has changed, you know, in the last year. I don't really have much of the time to trade, but this would have been a wonderful opportunity. I went ahead and made some money off of this Tango Therapeutics back when it was $7. Because I saw this and I'm like, oh, this thing's definitely going up. But then after I sold at 13, because there was just a little bit of resistance there, I left it, and then this thing tanked. This thing tanked down to $1. This thing tanked down to $1 in the middle of last year. Tanked. I didn't see it. What I saw was this thing went all the way back up. Crazy. This would have been an excellent opportunity. Now it's at 13, and it might just continue to keep going because it's actually right where I sold before. But do I really want to buy it now when I could have bought it at 1? Could you imagine selling this at or not selling it at 13 and then waiting a whole year only for it to be the same price, and you see this massive arbitrage move? You could have shorted it down to 1 and then bought it up to 13. Play this thing like a fiddle. Hindsight is 20/20, but this is why I want more people within my sphere to do these kind of trades, you know, or see these kind of opportunities, because it really does. Put a chart in front of me and I'll tell you what I like, what I think about it. And if there's a community of us doing that, we can form a bigger mind. IonQ has been doing a pretty amazing performance as well. This is one of those stocks that's on my watch list, but I haven't done it. By the way, I saw Rocket Lab back at 3. I think it was like right here at 3, but I didn't. I bought and then I sold, and I bought and I sold, and then I left it. And then I had a whole life going on, and now it's at $96. 96 divided by 3, do that math. Yeah, it's like 30x. It's like 30x. You know, imagine putting $30,000 and then now you're at 900K. Now I didn't have 30K back then. I had like, I don't know, how much did I have? I didn't have much money back then, especially the disposable. But I definitely could have made $300,000 had I put all that money in. But I wasn't going to do that because I like the active trading. I like swing trading. Swing trading is my thing. I love making thousands of dollars a day. You know, I love You know, I already had like a $10,000 day this year, and I love it. I love that. You know, I love the cash flow. I don't like just holding things for a long time, especially cryptocurrency. Oh my God. But here we are, Clean Spark. This price action is doing, it's doing all right. Would I buy it? Not yet. I'd like to see some developments going on. It looks like there's some bullish floaties, bullish momentum kind of happening right here. Not fast enough for me. You know, maybe I can catch a 2x within a month or so, but I'm not really looking at it that much. A quadruple U, this was another one that I was looking at $3, $4, and now it's at 21, but I wasn't in it. Plug power, do I want to buy this? Maybe. Matter of fact, these are these things I have to do like more research on, because you can see this massive bull flag, positive breakout, a retest, back down to this level. This is basically Bitfarms, except way slower. Bitfarms had this exact same formation, and it could go. This thing could go up 400x. You know? But it would take 3 years. It would take several years for this thing to go up 300x. So this is one of those things where you put in $10,000 and you just forget about it. You know, and if you do that, you'll end up at $3 million in 3 years. This right here is something I definitely look at a little bit more. I'm gonna add it to my watch list. All right, but then you have like quantum computing, right? And quantum, we miss quantum. This is quantum, right? This one thing was at 0.7, and now it's at 12. Probably still got good ways to go, but we definitely missed the opportunity of a lifetime with that smart money down here to really trade on quantum. Quantum's one of those things that I told my group, hey, I want to look more at quantum computing and find opportunities, you know? But opportunities like this where, wow, this thing was trading for a long time, it was at 0.7, and then it rose up to 12, and you want me to buy now? I want to buy it at 0.7. Heck, I would most likely not buy it at 0.7. I would personally probably see this thing and then buy it at like 1.35. This is like, seeing this right here, this is when I would buy a stock. When I see this kind of price action, or a random explosion off of a bull flag, proper 50% retracement, that's when I would buy it. But I don't have the eyes, I don't have the time. I don't sit here every day looking at the stock charts, and I wish I did. You know, I love this stuff. I told you, I love making thousands of dollars a day. I just don't, my job takes so much out of me that I can't get away from it. Bitfarms looks like it's doing pretty well as well. It's also having this positive momentum, probably from the optimism of going back to 95K and potentially 100K. But Bitcoin itself, it just looks, the price action is just terrible. It's so heavily manipulated. You have altcoins like, you know, Litecoin that are just doing garbage. Like, this is garbage. Why would you buy this? Why would you buy this? Now, of course, back then in 2017, this thing ripped it. 2017, this thing went from 3 to 300. You know, 2017 was the year of crypto. And then you had this 2021 thing where it was like, oh yeah, here we go. We're finally about to realize what it actually was back then. And then you sell off. And now it's just a bunch of meme coin rug pulls in the crypto market. It's terrible. It really is. You know, some of these things look pretty decent, I guess, but you know, I wouldn't really buy them. This right here looks pretty good. Real estate. Oh, of course, I don't know why real estate's launching. What do you think about that dividend? 0.8 per. So you get $80. This is a quarterly dividend. It's not a monthly. I'd be a fan of monthly dividends if they held the price well, but again, those are one of those things that gets priced out. In prices overall going lower as you get more dividends, you know. But a lot of these things don't really look much more interesting than that, you know. So I think I want to go ahead and cut this video here. Some of these things, like I said, look, some of these things like looks all right actually. I was in a BBAI for a little bit when it was at 1, and now it's at 6, and I wasn't there to see it. I need to spend more time doing this stuff instead of really a lot of other stuff that I do, you know. I spend a lot of time, honestly, in a lot of different things. You know, working on IC forums is a project of mine. Trading, you know, researching internet computer blockchain stuff. Ball and battles, ball and world, promoting the game, trying to promote the game. I mean, it's definitely not going well. And a lot of times it looks like I just spread myself kind of thin, you know. I kind of want to just come back to focusing on one thing at a time, which doesn't mean I can't handle one business at once. You know, I could push out an update real quick and then post about it, and then now I have content for a week, and then that's 3 hours of my time. And then another 3 hours of my time, okay, people are asking about this update for IC forums, I go ahead and add it, and then make an update post about it, that's an hour. You know, and then I do something else, you know. So that's really kind of where I'm at, trying to really focus in on myself and everything that I like, everything that I am. 2026 is kind of the year of locking in, you know, lock in or crash out. I saw that tweet. And my New Year's resolution really was just to keep doing what I do and do it better. So everything that I do, the stock thing, making apps, making websites, making games, videos sometimes, blogging sometimes, connections with people. I also got to work on that. I have some time to myself this week to really focus on that stuff. And then sooner rather than later, you know, in a year, I'm going to be out in the military, and then it's just going to be me. So thank you for all for watching. If you watched this far, hopefully I talked about some interesting things. If you think it was interesting, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and go ahead and comment. And I also have a private Discord group, the Hub 3, which you can find. I might post. I think I'll post a link. Go ahead and post it for you to join. I really don't want all these spammers around, but hey, it is what it is. Thank you for listening, and whenever this next video drops, hopefully you'll be there for it. It is not consistent at all. So thank you for listening.